Hello class, how are you today? We're ready to start off the semester and I'm excited. I hope you're in the right place. You should be here watching this video if you're in CIS170. We have a big group this semester, so please work hard to help each other and do the best we can to make sure everybody's successful so that we can have a big group of successful Java programmers coming out of our class today. My name's Renee Riley and I'll be your instructor this semester. This is a little bit about me at a glance, some of the companies that I've worked for over the years, and down at the bottom some of the certifications that I have. You'll notice that some of the companies are pretty large organizations. So I can tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a programmer and system developer from a large corporation standpoint, as well as being from small companies like OTC and some of the other places where I've worked. So I'm glad to be here. My number one priority is to make sure that you're successful. So please let me know if you're having any problems. If you're having problems, it's very likely that somebody else is experiencing the same issue. So I would love to know about it before it turns into something major. So just feel free to email me. All of my information is on Blackboard under your faculty link. And this semester, our OTC administration had kind of a focus this semester that they wanted everybody to be thinking of, and that's your top 5. And they want you to think about the top 5 people that you associate with, how you affect them, and how they affect you. As a college student, it's important for you to make sure that your relationships are positive, and hopefully you can make a positive impact on those top 5 and be a good example as a student who's learning. Now, how can you succeed in the class? Of course, we're going to look at the syllabus and you're going to be careful to stay on track with assignments. But there are some higher things that you need to keep in mind. First of all, if you keep a grateful attitude, it will always help you in any endeavor. Why would you be grateful? Maybe you might be grateful for the opportunity. I have no idea. I know for me, I'm grateful for the opportunity to teach you, and I hope that we have a great semester. And I do know that if I try to think of the things that make me happy and that I'm grateful for, I can get into a better frame of mind. Now I want you to think about being an example. It's important for you to be an example student. There may be people around you that have not really known college students before, so you kind of turn into somebody that's an important role model for them. So it's not something to really stress about, but it is something to remember and be proud of. Speaking of which, it's important for you to be proud of yourself and the work that you do. Also, you're going to be busy, so don't be surprised. That's okay. And I know that you'll be hardworking so that you can be successful this semester. Because you're in an online class, you may feel sometimes as though you're working harder. Don't forget, though, that the people that are in the seated class are spending 4 hours every week in class. So if you're spending 4 hours researching and reading, you're probably in a good situation. Now, let's take a look at the syllabus as we get started. There's a few things that we want to look at. Let me see if I can switch to that. Oh, I've got it up here somewhere. There, right down there. Oh my goodness, look at me, just have a terrible time. And I haven't updated to Windows 10 yet. I'm being bad, so I'm going to have to do that soon. So that's not even my excuse. Here it is. Okay, you can see I have the construction guy. If you've checked on Blackboard, you may have seen him, you may not have. Last night I started a date process and it kind of upset the apple cart a little bit, but I think I've got everything back in line. When you come to our course in Blackboard, the first thing you're going to see are the announcements. Tonight at midnight, the welcome announcement will pop up and tell you a little bit more about the class in writing. And of course, we'll be looking at a lot of things still to come. When you go to the announcements, please pay attention to those. I will every week post an announcement with your upcoming assignments, things that are due that week. So it'll be a good place for you to go to make sure that you're keeping on track. Again, here's the faculty link where you can see more information about me, my email, phone number, office hours. As you can see, my office hours are primarily on Tuesday and Thursday. I have a really heavy course load on Monday and Wednesday, so won't be very available those days. But on Tuesday and Thursday, I do have some office hours, and I would be available to Skype or any other way that you wanted to meet or talk if you're having some sort of issue that I can help you with. So always remember to refer to the faculty page for that information. I'm going to continue on and look at the syllabus link. And on the syllabus link, first you should see the scope and sequence link. That's our tentative calendar. It's a very high level schedule. It's not very detailed, but you can see it gives you each week and kind of an idea of what chapter or chapters we're going to be working on that week. It also highlights that our proctored event will be the Chapter 10 quiz at the end of September. The quiz will be opened up a week earlier for you so that you can get that proctored event in, but please don't forget about that. Don't miss that. Remember, in an online course, that proctored event is mandatory, and I'm forced to give you a failing grade if you're unable to make that proctored event. There's a lot more information about that on the proctored link or on OTC's website about proctoring. Here's our proctoring link right down here. Take a look at that scope and sequence at your leisure and kind of try to keep track of where we are. But again, I'll post announcements every week. Now, our syllabus gets a little bit more involved in the information for our course. Again, my contact information is displayed for you. The textbook. Now this year we're excited that we're using a new textbook for the Java class. This textbook offers an online opportunity called Ravel, and we'll be taking a look at that here in a minute, but that should give you lots of great opportunities. Some of your projects in Java will be submitted via Hypergrade. You should see that information on the Big Bookstore's website. But you do need a Hypergrade code to submit that information, and I will show you where the Hypergrade code is in our Blackboard information. There are some statements here about the computer expectations. Remember, you're working in Java. It is a good programming language, but it can use some resources depending on what you're doing and what's going on. You will be needing to install some software if you're going to use your computer at home. I would assume you're going to, since you've enrolled in an online class, but you are welcome to come to OTC and use the OTC computers if there's ever any reason that you need to. Now, you'll see as we get going, you'll have a choice in which editor you'd like to use for your Java development, but you will need to install the Java Developers Kit, and there will be some links for that included. We continue on in the syllabus with our course rationale from the course description book, and then your grading scale. Notice all of your assignments and quizzes, etc. are put in categories and weighted, so different assignments have different weights. When I am setting up all of these categories, your top 2 lowest assignment scores will be dropped from your grade. Your lowest quiz score will be dropped from your final grade. So these things will give you an opportunity to not be hurt too hard if you have some sort of issue come up. Along those lines, no late work can be accepted. Again, remember, there are many, many people in this one course, so I won't be able to do that. However, I will drop those assignments and quizzes, giving you an opportunity to have, some sort of emergency. If something does come up, you know that having to miss an assignment or a quiz is not going to really hurt your grade as long as it's your first one. In programming, we must make a statement about plagiarizing code. It is often a common practice within the industry to use other people's code in the real world, it happens. As a student, you may sometimes refer to others' code as an example or as a learning device, and that's acceptable. But when you turn in a project, it is assumed that this is your own code, that you have taken these examples and taken the book and taken all of the wonderful things that you've been offered and pulled those together to create your own solution. So please be careful that you are not accidentally copying code. Make sure the code is your own. Your technology requirements, again, are listed. Some expectations, some attendance statements. Remember, when you're in an online course, you must actively participate in the course to be counted present for that time. So just checking in on Blackboard doesn't really count as attendance. You must kind of do something, finish a quiz or submit an assignment or something like that. So it is important to keep up with it. I know when it's an online class, it can be easy to let it slip your mind for a week and then all of a sudden you're very behind. So please, please make sure that you're checking in often, if not every day. Now, along with that is administrative withdrawal. As an instructor, it's very hard for me to withdraw you from the course. I don't want to have to do that. I want you to be successful. But if you are not participating for 14 consecutive days, I'm forced to administratively withdraw you from the course. I'll send you an email if that happens. Please try to keep up with things so that we don't have to worry about that. And you can drop the course. There's some schedule information available here for you, and then a little bit more information about how important it is for you as a college student to meet your deadlines. You have many responsibilities to juggle. Every student does. So although every student at OTC is special, we want you to realize that your time commitments are something that it will benefit you to manage. So try to figure out how you can best schedule yourself so that you can accomplish your goals. There is more information in the syllabus about the proctoring requirement. Again, our dates that the proctoring exam will be available, and some other alternatives for you, of course, if you're not near the OTC campus and you need to be able to take the exam in some other location. I will grade as often as possible. Please feel free to communicate with me via email. That's the best way. Again, I mentioned that Monday and Wednesdays are going to be kind of heavy days, but I will always try to get back in touch with you within 24 hours. And of course, I understand being an online class, if you're right in the middle of a problem, you'd love it if I could get back with you. I'd love that too. But unfortunately, if your scheduled work time is midnight that you're working on the class, I probably won't be able to get back with you right away. But I will as soon as I can in the morning. The syllabus continues on with all sorts of information from OTC about different roles and responsibilities and rights that you have as a student. Please make sure you've read through this information. I know that a lot of your syllabi from OTC are looking the same, but it is important for you to read through everything. And at the very end, you should see my instructor schedule. So that's our syllabus in a nutshell. We're ready to go. I'm going to click on lessons and see if I'm too early here. Oh, I'm not. Now, I do need to open up lesson 1 for my video, but before we even get started, there's some things I can tell you about. Now, I'm going to go ahead, though, and exit out, because I think I can do a better job if I just go into that first lesson. Now, I'm looking at Blackboard here as the instructor, so I'll be seeing some things that you may not see on your Blackboard site that haven't been made available to you yet, like this lesson 1, the course overview start here. This will be made available tonight at midnight. And because our course starts tomorrow morning, I'm here working on this on Sunday evening. So you'll have this available. Now, notice at the beginning of your lesson link, at the very top is this link that says Open Ravel. We're going to take a look at that, don't worry, but I'm not going to get into it right yet. So when you get online, you're going to look at the syllabus, review the scope and sequence, and then come to this lessons link. You're going to click on the course overview and take a look at some of the resources that are available to you for this first lesson. So for example, in the Getting Started section, there is some welcome and a little bit more information about how to get started, getting going with the syllabus and taking the syllabus quiz, kind of reviewing all your Blackboard site. The next thing that you need to do is make sure you have access to Ravel. There's a video link here for you that explains as a student how to set that access up. Please watch that video. It's going to get you all set up, and you need that access. It's something that will be mandatory for your grade. iLearning, however, is not mandatory for your grade. iLearning is another Java site that is available through Oracle, and Oracle is the company that owns Java. So if you would like to register the iLearning account, there's a video here explaining how you should receive an email with your iLearning login information. So again, please just shoot me an email if you have any questions about that. It is not required for your grade, but it is good information that's available to you to go along with your textbook. So totally up to you, but it's pretty short presentation-based information. So if it's something that you want to take a look at, you sure can. Now, Blackboard's being a little weird to me. Let me see if I can get back to the right spot. Okay, so I'm going to go back into that first lesson. Now, as we were looking in the Getting Started, you'll see some other information in that link I'll let you take a look at. Underneath that is your first assignment. It again is a link to Ravel, and it's going to tell you that the Chapter 1 activities are due. And the way Ravel and Blackboard are going to interface, the Ravel assignment is going to be coming over to Blackboard into the gradebook with an assignment name of the due date. We'll look at that. But these assignments will be automatically posted to Blackboard, so it is something that we'll need to make sure is working properly. This is all new, so I'm going to need your feedback if you're having any problems. Next are your first two programming assignments. These assignments are exactly the same as the first couple projects in the Ravel Chapter 1, but notice I'm asking for you to do them outside of Ravel. I'd like for you to use either NetBeans or Eclipse, whichever you prefer to write these programs. You're going to access this Hypergrade link and upload these projects to Hypergrade. And back in that first lessons link, Getting Started, you'll also find a video for how to use Hypergrade. So you do have a few videos to watch this morning, I know, or this evening. Your next assignment is the discussion board Icebreaker. Take a quick look at it, tell us a little bit about yourself so that we can all start working together. And the syllabus quiz. So all of these items are going to be due a week from this Tuesday. So Tuesday, August 30th. And all of your assignments will normally be due on a Tuesday. Now I want to show you Ravel. I could click on this link here to go to Ravel, or I could go back to that main lessons link where there's the Ravel link to our course. Either place, it's fine. It seems as though it's going to take us to the same place. We'll be working on this through the semester. I don't have a seated course in Java, so I would appreciate your positive feedback about Ravel, and of course if you're having any sort of problems. Now, right away you see that there's an assignment due August 30th. This is a little bit how Ravel should look when it comes up for you. You're going to see it's a Pearson product. You have some menu options available to you over here on the left that you should explore. You have assignments listed and your course. Now you can view the assignment down here at the bottom, little pop-ups will show up with all your different assignment due dates, and we're all going to be working on this thing. Now notice that for your Chapter 1 assignment, it's all these reading activities. This exercise set 1.7 is where all your points are coming from. So you can use Ravel however you like, but to start, I would like for you to take it as though every section of Chapter 1 is required. Notice the projects are not listed here as part of the assignment. You should be able to see those in your online textbook, and using Ravel, you should be able to practice on all of those projects to get feedback from Ravel as to whether you're coding properly or not. As I said, your first 2 assignments are the first 2 chapter projects in Ravel, so you can use Ravel to make sure you've got that code exactly right, then copy and paste that code into Eclipse or NetBeans. It's going to be a little bit of an experimental week for you here this week, getting all of these different tools installed and ready to use. These first 2 projects should not be extremely stressful. If you take a look at them, notice that you're just supposed to write out some messages like welcome to Java, welcome to computer science, and programming is fun. Don't get distracted with the programs. You should be able to see exactly how to write these programs from the Ravel information and your textbook. Your focus needs to be this week on accessing Ravel, on deciding if you want to use Eclipse or NetBeans when you're watching the Ravel overview videos of the 2 different editors that are available to you. Using Hypergrade. You have a lot of things to get set up this week, so please, please, please don't delay. If you were to put off until next Tuesday, getting onto Ravel for the first time, it's going to be really hard for you to get those assignments done on time, so please don't wait. Maybe later in the semester you might be able to do that, but not for right now. I think that's the majority of what we need to look at right now. I would appreciate, again, questions and any sort of feedback, so I know what I need to focus on for you in our next video. Please look at Ravel. I think you're going to really, really like it. It's a super wonderful product, and it will really help you develop your Java skills and become an excellent Java programmer. I look forward to working with you this semester, and that's all.